Okay, everybody, thank you for attending tonight's meeting. We're going to get started as we do have a quorum. We will start the evening with the Pledge of Allegiance. Tonight we have the honor of the pledge is going to be dedicated to Steve Harrison, a longtime board member of Community Board 10. Steve joined the board in May of 1998 and became chair of the Zoning and Land Use Committee shortly thereafter. Steve's knowledge of parliamentarian procedure and zoning matters was quite impressive, and Steve became the chair of Community Board 10 in January of 2001. He led the board through the difficult period of 9/11 attacks on the World Trade Center during the months that followed. Steve's passion was zoning, and he was a staunch advocate for community planning and zoning. Steve and his Zoning and Land Use Committee authored the Case to Preserve Zoning, which was a comprehensive review and analysis of zoning in Community Board 10 and recommendations. Over the years, Steve was instrumental to CB10 when our recommendations were not being heard on different issues. As a pro bono attorney, Steve argued 3 Article 78 suits on behalf of residents in CB10. We have been fortunate to have been we have been so fortunate to have a board member and a leader who is truly cares for the community for almost 30 years. It is now time for Steve to take some relaxing time for himself and his family. We will miss you, Steve, as a regular board member. But you know that you are always welcome to join whenever you can and share your knowledge, wisdom, and enthusiasm. With that being said, the Zoning and Land Use Committee meeting is scheduled for... Okay, all right. Seriously, we wish you all the best, Steve, and we all are very grateful for all that you have done for Community Board 10. At this time, Steve, please come up and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Ready? Yep. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's see a few words.
Yeah, I got a bunch of words.
Okay. Being an attorney,
I had a wife. Oh, look, there she is right there. Would you like to sit up front?
Come on up, come on up.
She's the shy type. Good evening. I'm Steve Harrison. I served on Community Board 10 from 1995 until this moment, 2026. 31 years. I've lived in the district basically my entire life. In fact, I was born on 3rd Street. From 3rd Street, when I was a little older, we moved to 77th Street. Then from 77th Street, when I got married, we moved to 79th Street. To 78th Street, okay? After that, we moved to 79th Street. I'm hoping one day we make it into the 80s, you know? I served as the chair of board for 3 years, from 2001 to 2003, and chair of the Zoning and Land Use Committee from 2001 through 2003. Today, that all ends. I do hope my efforts during that time helped our community district preserve its character as the vibrant, wonderful place it was when I was first on the board, and as it is today, mostly because of the efforts of this board. And you guys should give yourselves a real, come on, give yourself it's worth it. My time as a community board member is over, but it remains the duty of the board to preserve our community primarily as it is now, a vibrant domestic oasis in the world's greatest and most vibrant city. Let me take this moment to thank the 2 great district managers I worked with over the years, the truly great Josephine Beckman and Denise Verga. And Joe's here. I'm sorry. And she knew I would do that. She knew I would do that, okay? Let me take, let's see, I already said that. Okay, let's see. Also, their staff members, Maria Scarpa under Denise Verga, and Dorothy and Amanda currently, and they deserve a big dessert too. Last but not least, I want to take credit for coaxing. No, I want to take credit. You want to give me credit for coaxing the great Joe Beckman, into being the finest community board district manager in the city of New York. No question about it. The chairman, okay? Last but not least, I want to take credit for coaxing, I think I already said that, the great Beckman to being the finest community board manager in the city of New York. See, when I ran for Congress, I want to take credit for her being the district manager here. When I ran for Congress in the early 90s or so, I didn't win. My first campaign manager had to resign in the middle of the campaign. And a young lady who I did not know, who believed in me, stepped up and did a spectacular job as my new campaign manager. I lost anyway, but in a way I won by meeting Josephine and her equally great husband, John. The next year, when our DM, Denise Verga, and I immediately called, that was toward the end of the year, and Denise Verga and I immediately called Josephine because I knew the job was made for her. Immediately, I applied for the job. Joe immediately applied for the job, and Community Board 10 has never looked back since that time. Okay, so I'm very glad that she just walked up in the middle of one of my campaign speeches later, and she said, "I want to work for you," and she became my campaign manager when my first one left. And we've never stopped since that time. We're good personal friends and everything, and that's very important for me to tell you that. The next year, when our district manager, Denise Verga, and I immediately called Josephine, I told that right. Finally, and most importantly, I could not have been a board member and chair without the consent, it's hard, love, and active support of my wife, Alice. Where's Alice? Come on, stand up. Her name is Alice Harrison, incidentally, so you know. And she's sitting here tonight, even as she sat home many nights as I and Community Board 10 were out saving the neighborhood and the world. I love you, Alice, and I thank you for all your support, and that's it. Thank you.
So Steve, first you get, for many of the board members who don't know, Steve actually started the Honor of the Pledge before I came to the board. And it was a way where the community board honored distinguished and hardworking residents in the district, everyday people to community leaders, community organization people, to just take a time out at the start of every meeting to recognize them. And post-pandemic, it's been a little bit more difficult to do that, but I'm so happy tonight that you're here to do this. But I'm very sad that you're leaving. But I'm happy to present you with an Honor of the Pledge certificate that I would like you to display proudly. And not everyone gets this. A Community Board 10 t-shirt, personalized with the number 10, because Steve Harrison was the 10th chair of Community Board 10.
Thank you very, very much. I greatly appreciate it. And there's one person here tonight that I really want to acknowledge. There was a time when we used to fight like cats and dogs. You wouldn't believe this. And we're actually very good friends. Vincent Gentili over there. I don't know. Did we ever run against each other? Or we just fought with each other. That's what it was. But I don't know exactly how it happened, but it morphed into a really good friendship. So, Vinny, I'm glad to see you here, okay? Thank you.
Sorry to see you leave.
Well, you see, you come, I go. Thank you all.
So thank you, Steve.
Wait, Steve, wait,
Alice? Give Alice the bottle. You can celebrate with Steve. Thank you.
Congratulations, Steve, and Alice. From this point forward, he's all yours. Okay. At this time, I'd like to. I would accept a motion from the floor to accept the adoption of the agenda. Okay. And I also need an adoption of the to approve the minutes.
Jonathan and Judy.
Okay. At this time, I would like to introduce the newly appointed board members sitting here in front. When I call your name, please stand and be acknowledged. Tamer Ahmed, Andre Engel, John Bruno, Lance Ford. He's not here, okay. Vincent Gentili. Itai Greenberg. He's not here either. Robin Houlihan. Not here. Paul Rubel. And Jana Taubi. She's not here either. Okay, welcome. Welcome to the board. Thank you for making the commitment to serve our community and keep the neighborhoods a wonderful place that we all work and enjoy in. Thank you. Okay, first up to speak will be Maya Yedin from Senator Andrew Gennard's office.
I'm going to be super fast, faster than Lori Windsor. Thank you to everybody who came to our shredding and e-waste event last weekend. It was great. If you missed it and you have stuff to shred, we're doing one in the northern end of our district. It's going to be on Friday, June 5th, behind Brooklyn Borough Hall. So come one, come all. We have a couple of things on the table over there, including that. We have some Lyme disease information. It's not great this year. We have some coloring and activity books about the Empire State. We have the popular No Soliciting Allowed. And next month, we will have our concert schedule. We just don't have it yet, but it's almost worked out, and we look forward to seeing you all this summer. Thank you.
Thank you, Maya. Next up, please welcome Lori Windsor from Congresswoman Nicole Takis' office.
Thank you, Sam. Yeah, I'll beat Maya. Anyway, welcome to the new board members. Thank you for giving your time and your talent to joining the board. And also thank you to our existing board members for giving your time and talent. Believe me, I know how much work is put into this. So I just wanted to say hello from the Congresswoman who is in D.C., but I love to be here as always. And if anyone needs any assistance, we're located on 77th and 3rd. Please feel free to reach out. Thank you.
Ooh, I don't know, that was close. Okay, next up, please welcome Richie Barsamian from Assemblymember Alec Krasny's office.
Thank you, Sandy. You know, I'm under stiff competition here to be super quick. Good evening, everyone. Richie Barsamian, proudly representing Assemblymember Alec Krasny, who sends his regards to all the new board members, congratulates you, congratulates existing board members and everyone in Committee Board 10 for your dedication and hard work to the community. The Assemblyman is currently in Albany. As you know, the budget process is ongoing. It is quite complex. We're dealing with a budget somewhere It's a big somewhere in the neighborhood of $269 billion, give or take a billion here and there. So the assemblyman could not make it tonight, as all the senators and assembly members are in Albany. Aside from the obvious that we place our faith in Community Board 10 with regard to the recent situation of an extraordinary amount of construction, the assemblyman has nothing but respect and faith in Josephine and the entire team, but he is extremely concerned about the quality of life of all Bay Ridge residents. He's extremely concerned that a great deal of attention is paid to emergency access to the Verrazano, but we know that the community board will do the right thing. Very, very quick note to everyone, everywhere, and every issue. We are getting so many situations involving Easy Pass. Please, please update your Easy Pass account profile. Make sure they know what your address is. If you moved, if you changed how you pay, go online, update your Easy Pass profile, because you may not be aware, but after a little while, when you can't get the mail delivered to you and you can't make payment, you may not be aware of this, but you now enter into suspension, you enter into Easy Pass problems. So please stay on top of that. Thank you, everyone, from Assemblyman Alec Brooke-Krasny, and good evening.
Thank you, Richie. Next up, I'd like to welcome Nancy Lulu from Brooklyn District Attorney Eric Gonzalez's office.
Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. Nancy Lulu from DA Eric Gonzalez's office. I bring greetings on behalf of DA Gonzalez to everyone. I just wanted to share that on April 24th, in collaboration with the NYPD, we held a prescription drug take-back event. Actually, we were hosted right here that day at plus 7 other sites throughout Brooklyn. And we were able to collect 72 pounds of unwanted, unneeded medications and dispose safely. So it's a new initiative, and hopefully we'll do better next year, but it's a great start. I also wanted to share our website and our Action Center's phone number. So to check on our recent press releases, all the takedowns, we recently had 2 gang takedowns in Brooklyn, one in Coney Island. You can get on our website at brooklynda.org. And also the Action Center, if there's anything you would like to address with the Brooklyn DA's office, if it's within our purview, we help. If not, we'll tell you who to go to. So the number there is 718-250-2340. And thank you for being here. And congratulations to all the board members.
Thank you, Nancy. Next up, I'd like to invite Michael Capitelli from Assemblymember Michael Tenusa's office.
Hi, everybody. Good to see you. I will try to be as brief as possible. So first, as you heard from my colleague Richie Barsamian, the Assemblyman is in Albany working to pass a budget and hold fiscal responsibility to the state for how they're spending. He did ask me, I just got off the phone with him on my way here, and he asked me to share a few things. First, he wanted in a public way to condemn the acts of violence that happened at the cultural center, the Islamic Cultural Center in San Diego. Hate crime is something that he obviously wanted to make sure that he addressed, something that he condemns, and very strongly wanted to make sure that he spoke out about it, and in a particular way in houses of worship. And it's even more horrific when it happens in places such as that. And so as a former prosecutor, he's going to continue to fight against this, pass legislation and work on legislation to hold everyone accountable. And obviously, make sure that the NYPD, we see them here tonight, has the appropriate resources to serve the community, which is very important to him. Pivoting, he wanted to recognize the work of former board chair and former congressional candidate Steve Harrison, who I know from when I was a neophyte in politics. And so also the new board members to congratulate them, and he looks forward to working with you. He recounted to me, and it would be a familiar story to many of you, back in the 1700s when Benjamin Franklin walked out after they passed the Constitution. There was a lady there, a socialite, who asked him, did you create a monarchy or a republic? And he said, a republic, ma'am, if you could keep it. And the purpose of his statement was that good democracy, good citizenship relies on those to get involved. And that's what this board and Community Board 10 has continually done. And so on behalf of him, certainly to Steve and the new board members, both thank you and a welcome to the new board members. With that, just a reminder, he does continue to maintain the officing Congresswoman Taka's office. He has a Brooklyn's location. Please call if you have any issues or concerns. He looks forward to working with you. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Michael. Next, I'd like to invite Judge Figueroa to speak about Memorial Day.
I forgot it's on YouTube. Sorry. That's right, I forgot. Sorry about that. Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me without a microphone? No. Very well. Like this? Like this? Yeah, you're loud. All right. All right. Good evening, everybody. My name is Jesse Figueroa, District 1 Commander of the Veterans of Foreign Wars Department of New York. Today, District 1 of the VFW and the United Military Veterans of Kings County honor the brave men and women who gave their lives in service to our country. For 159 years, Brooklyn has gathered on Memorial Day to remember our fallen heroes and the freedoms their sacrifice protects. May we carry their legacy forward with gratitude, unity, and unwavering commitment to those who continue to serve. And also welcome aboard the new board members. May your pathway go on a positive track. Thank you. Have a safe Memorial Day, and may the force be with us all.
Thank you, Jesse. Next, I'd like to invite Brett Hennessy. He's going to talk about the 10th Avenue DEP.
So sorry to be here again. Been here since 2020. The DEP has approved the project to fix our sewers twice, yet nothing's been done. It's 2026. The project was supposed to be started in 2025. A new building's getting approved probably tonight or whatever, and all this stuff's being built, but our infrastructure is completely broken here. And until that gets fixed, I don't understand how we keep on adding more and more. Oh, it's not going to affect it. It's not going to do anything. And I've talked to, I wrote letters to Hochul, Janardis, Malatakis doesn't even care, says it's not a federal issue. Infrastructure is a federal issue. The money's there. Who's holding the DEP accountable? Because it's dirty water coming into our homes when it rains. We pay for that service. It's a service that they don't even, do. They're not acknowledging anything. We can't even get them back to talk to them. This should be done. This should already be started. We shouldn't be living this. Also, you approve people to live in basements. How is that safe? It's just money grab, money grab, and money grab. I work every day to pay for my property, which is not cheap in Dyker Heights. And what do I get back from it? I go to work every day. If I, treated my job like this, I'd be fired. But there's nothing. I can't get a septic tank put in. I can't do anything to, achieve any way about it. I've had people check it to fix it. We've gone through it. I'm not an engineer, and I'm not supposed to fix it. I pay money. You see new apartments, tax abatement for 25 years. My taxes keep on going up. But for what? And it's dirty work. So who's going to be behind us when the whole, 10th Avenue has cancer or whatever we're getting from it? And you got to clean it with chemicals. It's not like an easy way. And I'm lucky to a point in my basement how I have it contained, but the pumps and stuff, it's just no way to live. You go on vacation, you hear it rains, you're like worried. So it's just, I just keep on seeing, I want new things here too. Like I want to evolve. I'm not here to live in the past. Things need to evolve. But I got 5 new schools quick and then I got 9 blocks for a sewer. And that's just unacceptable. We got new bike lanes all over the place. No one uses them correctly. It's always the car's fault. Everything. Like, I just take hits left and right, and I try not to make a big deal, but this is a big deal to all the families. And it's time to help them out. Thank you.
Thank you, Brad. Next, I'd like to invite Mary Jo Tobin, who's going to speak about EV charging station.
I just want to make sure that when everybody is thinking about making this decision about this property at the Staples site, that they're thinking about the EV charging station that's going right up on 92nd Street and how much traffic that's going to bring to us too. Could create a huge problem. So just bear that in mind. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next, I'd like to invite Danielle Mowry, who's going to talk about citywide participatory budgeting.
Thank you. Hi, can you hear me if I hold like this? Yeah. Okay. So, hi, I'm Danielle Mowry. I'm a board member, but I'm also a part of the League of Women Voters, and we partner each year with the Civic Engagement Commission of the city to do citywide participatory budgeting. So this is different than what you do with your local council member. This is expense and programs and services. So it's expense money in the budget. And there's ballots that I have here that I'll leave on the back table. And you can vote anyone over the age of 11. Doesn't matter how long you've lived in New York. Doesn't matter if you're registered to vote or what party you're registered for. As long as you're 11 years and older, you can vote for participatory budgeting. The projects in Brooklyn get the winning projects get $235,000 each. So this is really significant for a lot of nonprofits. And you can vote for as many as you want. If you want to send a message to the city to say, I think all of these are important, vote for all of them. If you really see a couple that you're really passionate about and you really like to see happen, vote for them. I work on this in the fall and in the spring. In the fall, we come up with ideas, and in the spring, we do voting. So if you want me to come to your group at all to do voting this spring, let me know. And especially coming back maybe here for bingo night or something to do voting. But also, I will leave these in the back table. Is that okay? Okay. Okay. I'll leave those there, and I'll also leave a couple of palm cards. If you were to scan the code here, you can go online, and it would be under LWV, which is League of Women Voters. And that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Danielle. I have a few acknowledgments. First, I'd like to acknowledge Colonel Misty Cantwell from Fort Hamilton Army Garrison. There you go. Officer Mina Gandor from the 68th Precinct Community Affairs Office. And Nancy Rodick from Councilmember David Carr's office. Thank you. Okay, continuing with the public session. First, I'd like to invite Mike Miccio to come up. Also, if I can have Bernadette Carmen come up and wait here on the side. You're next.
Right here.
Yeah.
Right here.
Oh, okay.
You can come forward. You can come forward. If you could just face the camera. Come up. First. You're first? Okay, step right here, step this mark. And I will hold mine.
Okay. First of all, I want to say thank you to the community board for all of your hard work. I really do appreciate it. I'm a resident. I live on Bay Ridge Place, and I'd like to speak briefly in opposition to the building of an 11-story building in Bay Ridge. This new building would bring up to 850 new residents, and only an estimated 260 or so people will occupy those 87 quote-unquote affordable apartments. Imagine this many people overloading the same streets, the same sewers, the same emergency services, the same subway platforms, and so on. There was some talk about there being a supermarket as part of the project. Let me tell you, as a resident living down the block from a very large supermarket, this is what we experience. Regular, extreme morning traffic jams caused by truck deliveries, the loss of parking spots, which we can't allow more of, and regular noisy garbage haulers starting anytime between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. I'm not against building. I'm against speculation. The developer has a right to build 6 stores as of right. Mr. Greenstein should do that, and I ask the Community Board 10 and the City Council to say no to the 11-story rezoning. Bay Ridge character, history, and safety should not be for sale. Thank you.
President Cameron?
Hi, I live on 94th Street, down the block from Staples, where they're proposing the 11-story building. My main concern, or one of our concerns, is flooding. Our block floods tremendously. We have all spent thousands of dollars. Our neighbors are here, and there's nothing to address that. Without an environmental study, how do we protect ourselves, and how much more do we have to take on? Insurance does not pay that. I really hope that you keep it to 6 stories to keep our sewers intact.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to invite, is it Victor or, I can't read your handwriting. Oh, Victoria Hoffner? Okay.
If you could face the camera. Oh, yeah. I'll hold it. Thank you. This way. Face the camera. Good evening. My name is Victoria Hoffman. I'm the president of the Bay Ridge Conservancy. I served as the head of Councilman Gentili's Preservation Committee, and our major success was the rezoning of our community at the suggestion of New York City Planning, which is ironic, while at the same time we held our Bay Ridge Special District. It involved community input and buy-in, and then we went through a ULURP process, mandated public review process through every level of government. It was passed in 2025 with much fanfare. Unfortunately, in 2024, the City of Yes was passed, and all we worked for was wiped out. And I'm concerned about the larger context of what's happening with development. This project is part of it, but it's not alone. Our community was further eroded, the preservation or the character, when the ballots were passed in 2025. This takes land use issue decisions away from the local city council member, our community board, and us. So where is our voice? Those ballots were packaged in the guise of promising affordable housing. I want you to know how they're defining affordable housing. It doesn't go by the cost. It goes by how much new construction has been built. That's how they're defining it. Does this make sense? How does a community like Bay Ridge that has stable housing stock and hardly any empty lots comply? I am opposed to this applicant's request. The applicant bought a property knowing what is permitted on the lot. Our community's already been altered substantially. Why should they ask for more? Now, I looked up today what it costs. The studio they're proposing is $3,000 a month in this complex. The real estate stats from today said that studio apartments in Bay Ridge rent between $1,700 and $2,500 per month, while the proposal will actually drive up rental prices substantially between $1,300 and $500 a month. The inclusionary housing, the more affordable units, they don't guarantee they'll get code to the people in the community. And we're going to also get an increase in our property values, which will increase our real estate taxes. You know, Bay Ridge is it's a model community. We have a lot of wonderful things. We're very diverse, ethnically, age-wise, and in terms of affordability. If we truly wish to make New York more affordable, this ain't the way. This proposal harms our community, and rather than providing affordable housing, it drives up costs further. Therefore, I'm opposed and hope that you will hold the applicant to the actual
Thank you, Victoria. Next, I'd like to invite Mr. and Mrs. Sunan Whalen.
Sandy, she'll be followed by?
Teresa Daniel.
Okay, great, thanks. Oh, thank you. So my concern is transportation. So the developer has decided not to do environmental studies nor transportation studies. Keep in mind, it's 95th Street train station. Concern is, as they're building, what happens to the train station? I mean, we're not talking a brand new train station, it's quite old. What happens after the building's gone up? Look at the transportation at that site. You know, we have buses. We have buses on 86th Street coming from Staten Island, quite a few of them. also 3rd, 5th Avenue, the B8 comes down. I know he said they don't have to do these studies. Just because you don't have to doesn't mean you should. My thought is, what will happen if something happens going in the future? He's gone. And he can say, I didn't know. The question is, why didn't you know? You didn't do the study because either you didn't care or you didn't want to know. Thank you.
Teresa Daniel? Teresa? No, you have to come to the mic.
And then can we have the next speaker queue up here, please? That's it? There's a timer. A timer. I have to hold it. I'll hold it. And try to face the camera, please.
Hi, everyone. I've lived on 17th Street, or one member of my family, since 1956. There's not much you could tell me about Bay Ridge, but what I can tell you is we're being invaded, we're being demoted, we're being decayed. All of this has to stop. If you build an 11-story building, what happens to the rest of the regulation for the rest of us? Across the street from my house is a 3-lot area that's waiting to have a house built. The owner says it's going to be 2 one-families. Who's to say? Who's to know? What's going to go there? We don't know. And the rats that are coming. I've never seen a rat in all these years. 2 I saw now in 2 weeks. These grounds that the grass grows up to here, what do you think happens to the rest of us? Does anybody think about that? Listen, if we get filled, we get crowded. You have to move on. You just can't take people and cram them. A house like mine, there's people living in the basement now. There's 2 families living on the 2nd floor and a 3rd up on the top. And everybody has cars. And then you put the Citibank bikes there. There's nowhere to go. And Severian is overloaded with all their buses in the morning. You're crushing us. I love Bay Ridge, but please, somebody with a mind and power and influence, please help us.
Thank you very much. Okay, that brings an end to the public session. Now for some public hearings, I'd like to bring up Chris Ellison.
Chris? Okay, good evening. You could shut that off. All right. The Police and Public Safety Committee meeting was held on May 12th. The meeting was a hybrid meeting in person at Community Board 10 office and on Zoom. We met in quorum, but not in in-person quorum. And the agenda was as follows. We had a demonstration of CPR, cardiopulmonary resuscitation by FDNY. New application for liquor, wine, beer, and cider for M. Bell Bar and Restaurant Corp., located at 7215 3rd Avenue. New application for liquor, beer, and cider license for AAA 66 Club Incorporated, located at 815 66th Street in a new and old business. So for the public hearing, new application for liquor, wine, beer, and cider for M. Bell Bar and Restaurant Corp., doing business as Tequila and Sal, located at 7215 3rd Avenue. The applicant, Manuel Velasquez Nazi, was not present, but was represented by ABC Licensing in St. Park, who was also not present, but had a representative from his office on Zoom. The location was previously Blue Agave. The applicant is also the owner of Las Margaritas, located at 7206 3rd Avenue, and also Las Margaritas, located at 9208 3rd Avenue. The restaurant has 6 tables with 20 seats, 1 bar, no stools. The hours of operation will be Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 12 a.m., Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 1 a.m., and on Sunday, 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. There will be no outdoor use. There will be no recorded background music, or there will be recorded background music, and we'll occasionally have live music like a mariachi. There were 11 311 complaints for noise over the 3-year period for the previous owner of Blue Agave. After a discussion period, the committee's recommendation motion is to deny the applicant unless the applicant agrees to the following stipulation. The premise will be operated as a restaurant. There will be no sale or consumption of alcohol on the premise until the appropriate license issued by the State Liquor Authority. Applicants will not serve or allow bring your own booze until their license is obtained. The owner and manager will be on site during all hours of operation. The hours of operation will be Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 12 a.m., Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 1 a.m., and on Sunday, 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. There will be no smoking permitted. There will be no outdoor music. There will be no outdoor use. The doors and windows shall be closed with any amplified music, background recorded, and/or music sound levels remain below the level permitted by the New York City Noise Code. There will be at least 20% visibility view into the establishment eye level. Once the State Liquor Authority license is obtained, the Community Board may call upon the applicant to address any concerns that may arise. The applicant agrees that should it change its method of operation, it will give notice and meet with the Community Board Committee at least 45 days in advance of any such change. The applicant's representative agreed. The motion passed in favor unanimously. So, since we did not have a quorum, I need a second from the floor. Jonathan? Any questions? Hopefully that's better. Any questions, board members? Call the question. All those in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Any recusals? None. Next item. New applicant for liquor, wine, beer, and cider license for AA66 Club Incorporated, located at 815 66th Street. The applicant, Yang Feng Chen, was not present, but was represented by Becky Lin. The location was previously 66 Club Incorporated, and the applicant will be operating as a karaoke bar. The hours of operation will be Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 12 a.m., Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 1 a.m., and on Sunday, 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. There will also be background music with karaoke music. The location will have 50 seats with 6 tables and 3 service bars only. The space will be divided into 4 rooms. The applicant stated that they will not be using security, and the premises will have security cameras throughout. It was strongly suggested that they do use security, since they are only a block away from another karaoke establishment that has received multiple complaints. Though they are smaller and their hours of operation are more reasonable, there will be a spillover of patrons. The establishment is under renovations. The new owner was previously employed by the previous establishment. There have been no 311 complaints for this location over the past 3 years. The premises will not host private parties, and there will be no outdoor use. Can you hear me? Am I breaking up? I'm too close. Okay. All right. Hold on. Let's see if that's better. After a discussion period, the committee's recommendation motion is to deny the applicant unless the applicant agrees to the following stipulation. The premise will be operated as a karaoke bar lounge restaurant. There will be no sale or consumption of alcohol on the premises until the appropriate license issued by the SLA. Applicants will not serve or allow bring your own booze until their license is obtained. The owner and manager will be on site during all hours of operation. The hours of operation will be Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 12 a.m., Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 1 a.m., and on Sunday, 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. There will be no smoking permitted. There will be no outdoor music. There will be no outdoor use. The doors and windows shall remain closed with any amplified music. Background recorded indoor music sound levels will remain below the level permitted by the New York City Noise Code. Once the State Liquor Authority license is obtained, the Community Board may call upon the applicant to address any concerns that may arise. There will also be 20% visibility view into the establishment at eye level, and there will be visibility from the hallway into each room. The applicant agrees that should it change its method of operation, will give notice and meet with the Community Board Committee at least 45 days in advance of any such change. There will be at least 2 licensed security guards at all hours of operation. There will be no private parties. The applicant will allow the NYPD to conduct random business inspections. The applicant's representative agreed. The motion passed in favor with 1 opposed. Any questions? Oh, I need a second on the floor first. Carmelo. Now, questions? Julie. Okay, give it to Ruth first.
Ruth, and then pass it to Julie, please. I'm interested in knowing if there's a rear exit.
No.
And no?
No.
No rear exit?
No.
Is there a fire abatement
Not to my knowledge. This was previously a restaurant. It does have 2 entrances in the front of the premises. in the
No
window.
sprinkler system?
Not that I know of. I think the last time, on the previous owner, we did say they did have a sprinkler system, yes.
But we don't know if they have it now.
Correct.
Okay.
Julie?
Don't you think there should be another stipulation about the security that was
put
previously
it in.
mentioned?
I said there will be at least 2 licensed security guards out at all hours of operation.
Oh, it will definitely.
That's in the
Okay.
stipulation, yes.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Any other questions? No? That being said, I'll call the question. All those in favor, please signify. Any opposed?
Keep your hand
1,
up.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
9.
9 opposed. Motion passes. That's all for now. I'll be back later.
Thank you, Chris. Now I'd like to invite for the next set of public hearings, Jane Marie Kaptanakis.
Oh, wait, no.
There you go.
Thank you so much. On Wednesday, May 6th, the Traffic and Transportation Committee met in virtual quorum to discuss 3 public hearing items, which we will review now. First, the review of Dining Out NYC Enclosed Sidewalk Cafe application at Tannerine, 7523 3rd Avenue, application number 2026212030001. This is an existing enclosed sidewalk cafe. Previously, enclosed sidewalk cafe licenses were handled by City Planning and the Department of Consumer and Workplace Protection, but now pre-existing enclosed sidewalk cafes must apply through DOT. When we had our conversation, if any of you remember Mr. Tang, this was on the side. It's been there for years. The committee met, as I said, in virtual quorum and voted in favor of this application. We will need a motion from the floor from a board member. Thank you. Seconded? Thank you. Is there any discussion from our board members? Seeing none? Oh, sorry, I didn't see Barbara. Hold on.
One question. I know when you were taking down some of the street cafes, those huts, and when they broke it open, it was the habitat for rats. So will this have a floor covering where the rats can continue to live?
So this is actually part of the building?
Yeah, Barbara, this, for Tannerine and for the next one, Layla, it's actually part of the existing building, so it's attached to the building.
Okay.
It's not a roadway. It's attached to the building.
Thank you.
Right, so previously this had been handled differently and now it comes under this jurisdiction. And so we have the opportunity to vote on it. So if there are any other questions from board members, I believe we have a resident who wants to ask. Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't see. I have on the glasses though tonight, I do.
Thank you. Hi, so I'm a little confused because I live right down the block from Tannerine. And they had 2 sidewalk ones outside on the street. This isn't street, this is sidewalk, correct? So it's, okay, so it's just outside on the sidewalk?
So
you know that glass enclosure, that part of the building?
I get it now.
It's actually technically part, it's on the sidewalk. Yeah.
Well, and I will also say when they had the other ones, they were beautiful, so, you know. Now I understand, thank you.
Right, so this is for something pre-existing that's already what appears to be part of the building as we go by. All right. So were there any other questions? Seeing none, we are ready then to vote. All in favor? Thank you. Any opposed? Any abstentions or recusals? Okay, motion carries. Thank you. Next, we have a review of Dining Out NYC Enclosed Sidewalk Cafe application at Layla's at 8530 3rd Avenue, application number 202-601-220-30001. All right, now, this is also a previously existing enclosed sidewalk cafe that has been a part of the building before Layla opened. So those of you, again, familiar with that corner of 86th Street. As stated, previously enclosed sidewalk cafe licenses were handled by City Planning and the Department of Consumer and Workplace Protection, but now pre-existing enclosed sidewalk cafes must apply through DOT. The committee met in virtual quorum and voted in favor of this application. We will also need a motion from the floor. Thank you, and that is seconded. Thank you. Do we have any discussion on this point? Okay, seeing none, we are ready to call the question. All in favor? Thank you. Any opposed? Any abstentions or recusals? Seeing none, the motion carries. Thank you. The last we have is a review of Dining Out NYC roadway and sidewalk cafe for Cafe Negroni, which is 308 86th Street. This is application number 202-603-110-30001. This request is for a sidewalk and roadway cafe on 86th Street. The restaurant opened at the end of last year. There have been no 311 noise complaints for this location. The layout of the roadway cafe is for 20 feet by 8 feet, set up with 4 tables and 8 seats. The layout of the sidewalk cafe is for 20 feet by 7 feet, set up with 4 tables and 8 seats. The hours of operation are daily from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. The committee discussion included concerns that this is near the corner, concerns over traffic, including cars, buses, cyclists, and pedestrians, and any changes coming to 3rd Avenue. The committee met in virtual quorum and voted 8-3 in favor of this application. So we will need a motion from the floor, okay, and that is seconded. All right, and now I have to ask our board members if we have any discussion on this. Okay. Okay, Dorothy's coming.
First of all, I just have a question. Are these 2 separate applications that we're considering?
Yes.
Same number.
Okay, so we're going to have 2 separate votes.
So it was under one number. That's where it gets like a little muddy.
We could do it 2 separate.
Okay. So we can do that then as 2 separate.
That's a good way to do it.
Does that make more sense?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Sure. In that
Okay.
case, I do have a comment.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I actually recently ate at this restaurant, by the way. It's
Okay.
wonderful. But it is in a very awkward place for a sidewalk, for a roadway cafe. Sidewalk cafe, I think, makes a lot of sense and would fit in well with this restaurant. But the roadway cafe is really, like you said, in the way of a lot of traffic and buses and cyclists and all sorts of stuff. So I would urge us to deny the roadway cafe and approve the sidewalk cafe.
Thank you. Thank you. I believe I'm hearing, I don't know if another board member had something else. Oh, great. Thank you.
I would just like to state my general opposition to roadway cafes.
Okay.
Aside from them being dangerous for the people who sit inside of them, it is unfair that a private enterprise should have the opportunity to take away public space. And it's public space that we need for parking. That's my opinion. I will never vote in favor of a roadway cafe.
Thank you. Any other board member? I see Carmen over here.
Well,
I'm just going to be honest. It's very hard to be sitting at a meeting right next to the owner of the restaurant and having to vote no. I just think our streets are so dangerous now that to add another element, especially when you have all these parents going up and down for the different schools there, it's just tough. And anything we could do to just keep traffic flowing safely is what we should be focusing on.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Well, we certainly appreciate that the suggestion that was made to have two separate votes. Do we have to have it seconded for that, or?
We could do it, we could separate it by that.
Great. Great. All right. So then, if we're, is there anybody else who wanted to respond from our board? Okay, seeing none, then we would be ready to have a vote. But as was discussed, we will separate this into two votes. So the first would be for the request for the sidewalk cafe on 86th Street. Once again, the sidewalk cafe is for 20 feet by 7 feet, set up with 4 tables and 8 seats. So now the committee had voted in favor. So we can go ahead with that. So all in favor of the sidewalk cafe? Okay. Board members only, please. Thank you. Any opposed? I see one. Any abstentions or recusals? Seeing none, that part of our motion passes. Next, we have then, we're separating it, so we have the request for the roadway cafe on 86th Street. Once again, this is 20 feet by 8 feet, set up with 4 tables and 8 chairs. All right. So now we would need someone else to make the motion to vote on this. Okay, Julie, and we need it seconded. Thank you.
So now what is the motion?
The motion would now, this was then separated, so it is different than what we had.
So would this be a motion, are you making a motion, Julie, in support or opposed? Making a motion to vote for it separately?
We did, right.
Okay. I'm against.
Okay.
So this would be a motion, so you're making a motion to oppose the roadway. Yes.
So the motion is on the floor in opposition of the roadway cafe located at 308 86th Street. So all in favor or in agreement with this? We needed a second? I thought we had. I'm sorry. Yeah, that part we got. All right. So now if there are those in favor of the denial of this. Oh, well, I'm sorry. You want more discussion? No problem. We have more discussion. Sorry. I thought they were ready.
I'm sorry. You know, one thing that I know, that this became a law by the city. So I think if we are really, and I am against all these things, we should write to the city. We should write a letter from the community board that we are not in agreement. We're disagreeing on your, again, coming back with the roadways, cafes, or most of them are empty. You know, I see them. Nobody is really in them, but they are there.
You know, Habib, next for our June meeting, we are going to have a discussion about surveys from our businesses and our residents, and we'll add that to the agenda next month.
We appreciate that ongoing discussion, and we recognize that there were many issues around them and that were brought to our attention. So thank you for all of that. So any other discussion from board members? Seeing none, now we are ready to vote in opposition. The motion was in opposition to the roadway cafe located at 308 86th Street. So it would be all in agreement, in favor of a motion to deny. All right. If you don't want it, you're voting that you're agreeing that you want it. Okay. Okay, this was for the street. Okay. Correct. This is for board members only. I'm sorry. This is for board members only to vote if you're in agreement with not having the roadway cafe. Thank you. Okay. Those who are opposed to denying this request, if you are opposed to denying. 5. Any abstentions or recusals? So the motion to deny this request has been approved, has passed. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. And then I'll give it back. You're on.
Thank you, Jane Marie. Next in our public hearings, I'd like to invite Stephanie Simone Mahaney. Yep. Take it back.
Right. While Josephine's getting the slides ready, I just wanted to remind everyone that the materials had been sent out ahead of time, so there was a very extensive summary. 9+ pages may not seem like a summary. I have done you a favor, and myself, I've shortened the summary this evening. So a lot of the technical information, details, a lot more of the discussion is in that packet. There was also a link to the zoning application portal. Presentation slides. Additionally, there was my report from the first meeting that covered this topic. And so you will see the slides here. The visuals should help. The applicant is present this evening, so if there are additional questions, again, I remind everyone that public session has closed on this, so after I read my report, the discussion will be limited to the community board members. Okay. Ready? Okay. I can see. Okay. No. It's all good. Okay. The Zoning and Land Use Committee convened in virtual quorum in a hybrid meeting on May 7th to continue its review of the proposed rezoning and redevelopment of the former Staples site at 9305 Fifth Avenue. The applicant team returned following the committee's prior meeting to respond to questions and concerns raised by committee members and the public. Okay. So what you're looking at behind me. The application seeks to rezone the property from R6B C23 and an R5B to R7X C24 in order to construct an approximately 11-story, 130-foot tall mixed-use building with a setback at 10 stories, containing 292 residential units, including 88 income restricted units under mandatory inclusionary housing, hereafter known as MIH, together with commercial space, community facility space, and accessory parking. Under the current R6B zoning, the site permits 2.0 FAR as of right, generally resulting in a contextual building envelope of approximately 4 to 5 stories with a height cap of roughly 55 feet. By contrast, the proposed R7X district would allow a substantially larger development envelope representing approximately a 200% increase in FAR and a 163% increase in permitted height over the current R6B district. The applicant stated that the project would utilize MIH option 2, which generally requires that 30% of the residential floor area be permanently income restricted at an average of 80% area median income. Throughout the meeting, the chair, I, reminded both the committee and the public, and I remind you here as well, that the principal issue under consideration is not architectural aesthetics or future commercial tenants, but the zoning district itself and the long-term implications of permanently increasing allowable density and bulk on the site. Also, that rezonings remain with the property regardless of future ownership, and that the committee's role is to evaluate rezonings based upon the needs and conditions of CB10, including infrastructure capacity, neighborhood character, quality of life, and cumulative impacts over time. In addition to comments made during the committee's meetings with the applicant, the district office received 88 written comments regarding the application, including 85 in opposition and 3 in favor. Written comments reflected strong community engagement on the proposal and addressed issues including neighborhood character, infrastructure capacity, affordability, environmental review, traffic and parking impacts, and long-term planning concerns. The comments submitted in favor generally cited the need for additional housing and welcomed the addition of new residents in the neighborhood. I'm going to go through each of the categories and give you the applicants, some of the applicants' proposal, and then the community and committee concerns. So regarding zoning district scale and the neighborhood character, the applicant maintained that the requested density is necessary to support a fully rental building rather than an as-of-right condominium project. Mandatory inclusionary housing obligations triggered by the rezoning, structured accessory parking, and commercial and community facility components. The applicant further stated that an as-of-right development that would be under the current R6B would likely result in a smaller market rate condominium project with little or no affordable housing and substantially less parking. Committee members, residents, and written comments raised concerns regarding scale, height, density, and massing of the proposed R7X district, concern that the proposal would fundamentally alter Bay Ridge's established character and built environment, the permanence of rezonings regardless of future ownership, the cumulative impact and long-term precedent repeated corridor rezonings could establish within the community district, particularly in areas south of 86th Street and within existing C8 districts. Other concerns, whether rezonings of this scale should occur outside broader neighborhood planning, traffic, parking, infrastructure, and flooding concerns, concerns regarding environmental review or lack thereof and cumulative impacts, and why intermediate zoning alternatives between R6B and R7X had not been more seriously explored. Many speakers and commenters emphasize that they are not opposed to development itself, but rather to the scale and intensity of the proposed zoning district. Regarding traffic and parking, the applicant stated that the project intentionally included substantially more parking than would otherwise be required under zoning in response to longstanding community concerns, structured attended parking and internal loading operations intended to reduce curbside impacts, the relocation of vehicular access and loading activity from 5th Avenue to 94th Street, traffic analyses indicating that projected vehicle trips and circulation patterns would be absorbed within the surrounding roadway networks, and projections indicating comparatively limited peak hour residential and commercial vehicle trips related to the broader traffic network. The applicant also stated that the proposed density was necessary in part to support the cost of these structured parking and loading operations. All right, the concerns, committee members, residents, and the written comments. The concerns are whether the proposed parking supply could realistically accommodate the scale of the development, the practicality of routing garage access and loading activity onto narrow residential side streets, the existing congestion near 5th Avenue and 92nd Street associated with bridge traffic, bridge closures, school operations, commercial activity, and surrounding arterial roadways, the long-standing parking shortages, severe backups during bridge closures, and rush hour conditions. Moving on. Additionally, the skepticism regarding whether the project's parking configuration could serve the development, concerns regarding the traffic analyses that was presented, and the cumulative effect of additional residential commercial loading service and delivery traffic in this particular area. Regarding sewer flooding and infrastructure capacity, and I'd like you to keep in mind that stormwater drainage is very different than sewer. And the applicant emphasized that the project would incorporate modern stormwater detention systems. Updated construction standards would be used to improve site conditions and reduce runoff generated by the property itself. And emphasized, the applicant made clear that the existing sewer and drainage deficiencies are longstanding neighborhood and citywide conditions that predate the proposal. And we have heard from residents this evening and have very regularly about this issue. The committee concerns, resident concerns, are the recurring sewer backups, basement flooding, and longstanding drainage problems, the area's aging combined sewer system, the history of failures associated with the major sewer infrastructure beneath 92nd Street, the distinction between on-site stormwater mitigation and the broader issue of adding hundreds of additional residents to an already strained sewer system, whether existing infrastructure could effectively accommodate additional density, and frustration that infrastructure investment has not kept pace with continued growth pressures. Regarding the affordable housing and affordability structure, the applicant emphasized that the proposal would create permanently income-restricted housing in a community district identified by city metrics as producing comparatively little new affordable housing, that the requested density is necessary to financially support the MIH obligations associated with the rezoning, that a smaller as-of-right project would likely result in market-rate condominiums without a significant affordable housing component, and that the proposed development would be entirely rental housing with permanently income-restricted units, despite rental use not being required by the zoning district, and that application materials and the racial equity report characterize the surrounding area as presenting comparatively limited direct residential displacement risk. During discussion regarding affordability, the applicant's counsel acknowledged that some units at the higher AMI levels would be essentially at market rate now, referencing projected rents contained within the application materials and racial equity report. Discussion therefore focused on the relationship between the projected restricted rents, the current market rents, and the local neighborhood income conditions. So the committee resident concerns and written comments were whether regional AMI formulas accurately reflect the local income levels in the district, whether the proposal would substantially benefit the existing CB10 residents, whether portions of the development would remain unaffordable to many working and middle-class residents, whether certain affordability subsidy models may contribute to increases in surrounding market rents over time, whether city affordable housing metrics fully account for the large number of existing rent-stabilized and naturally occurring affordable units already present throughout CB10, where approximately 1/3 of the housing units are already rent stabilized. Finally, the environmental review. The applicant emphasized that the project qualified for the city's environmental green fast track review process. A full environmental impact statement and comprehensive traffic study were therefore not required, and the current review framework analyzes only the incremental increase above what could already be constructed as of right under existing zoning. The broad concerns included whether the cumulative neighborhood impacts associated with repeated single-site rezonings are fully reflected under the current review framework, the concern that repeated site-by-site rezonings may allow significant increases in density and bulk without broader neighborhood-level environmental review, and whether existing review thresholds adequately capture the real-world neighborhood conditions that already affect this area. Committee members further emphasized that regardless of whether the site ultimately remains R6B or is rezoned to another district, broader study of corridor conditions, particularly the sewer infrastructure, flooding, traffic, schools, transit, and cumulative environmental impacts would be appropriate for this area. Public testimony and written comments similarly questioned these issues. Okay, so moving on to the recommendation. The committee ultimately concluded that the R7X zoning district is excessive relative to the surrounding neighborhood and continues to raise unresolved concerns. Discussion also reflected the committee's broader concern that rezonings along this corridor should not continue through isolated site-by-site applications without a larger neighborhood planning discussion in coordination with elected officials, the community, and city planning to determine what level of development is appropriate and sustainable for the neighborhood as a whole. At the same time, the committee recognized that the site may be appropriate for some level of redevelopment and additional housing growth. In that context, R6A was identified for consideration as a more moderate and contextual starting point moving forward. Members noted that R6A would still represent a significant increase. It's actually a 95%, correct? Yes, FAR, 90%. 5% increase. There are trade-offs, of course. This zoning would also allow, it would continue to allow for additional housing opportunities in a manner that is viewed as more compatible with the surrounding neighborhood character. Therefore, the committee adopted a motion recommending against the proposed R7X rezoning, and further recommending that the site instead be evaluated within the context of a broader neighborhood planning framework, with R6A considered as a more moderate zoning alternative to be considered. Oh, that's repetitive. Okay, the motion passed without opposition, abstentions, or recusals. Okay, so that is we met in virtual quorum, therefore I need a second from the floor. Okay. Okay. All right. I imagine there's discussion. Okay, Julie has her hand up first. Thank you.
Okay, so it is definite if it's R6A that it would not be a rental building, that it would be a condo building?
No, let me, R6A is what we are asking as a starting point. Again, we are advisory. I just want to be clear that the motion, the current R6B, as we understood, as the applicant stated, it is most likely that that would be a condo project without affordable housing.
Right. Okay, now the other thing, I don't really understand this concept of the parking. Well, if it's a smaller building, there'll be less parking. Well, if there's a smaller building, you need less parking. So it doesn't really make sense to me what was said there, because with a large building, 11 stories, whatever, how many stories they want to make it under the R7, you are going to require more parking. So I'm a little confused by that.
I don't know under the zoning how much is required under an R5B, but there's, parking required, so.
No, I mean, not by law. I'm saying that you're going to need.
Need? Oh.
Sorry.
Okay.
You're going to need.
Okay, thank you. And Dino's in front.
All right, there's so much here. So I just want to clarify, I am not opposed to building new housing. We absolutely need it 100%. The issue here is, first off, AMI. AMI, for those who don't know, is calculated, it's the income of all 5 boroughs plus Rockland County, Westchester County, and Putnam County. That skews it higher than the median income of New York City residents and much higher than Brooklyn. I think the per capita income for Brooklyn residents is around $55,000. So at a 2-bedroom at 60% AMI is about $2,300 for this development. That's a couple that makes what, like 70? Shit. Well,
I'm sorry, you said, hold up, you said at 60% AMI?
60% AMI, it's about $2,300, 22 something, right?
I see 2190.
Okay, close enough.
2200, okay. Just wanted.
So a couple at 60% AMI, that's about $77,000 a year. That's still around 30% of their income. It's close to that, and that's technically rent burdened. So it's barely affordable. Like all of these new developments, not just in Bay Ridge, all across the city, communities have been gutted by developments just like this. So many people have been displaced, and we need real affordable housing. I don't know what that looks like exactly. The mayor came up with the SPEED Act. He's proposing publicly funded housing to address the affordability crisis. We need something different. We can't have privately funded developments like this that are basically commodifying housing. They are adding unnecessary amenities like doormen, rooftop gardens, and gyms that add to the per unit cost. There's also the parking mandate that was advocated by this board and by our previous council member. That also adds to the per unit cost. Like, this isn't sustainable. We can't be building with all these mandates. We can't be building with private money like this because it's for profit. So we need housing. We need affordable housing.
Okay, well, this funds some of the affordable housing. I mean,
They have a 30-year tax abatement, don't they? 25 years, something like that. And all these new developments across the city, look at what they've done
for
to
the
Gowanus.
affordable piece. Okay.
Like,
however, we can't
We can only work within the framework
within the
that we
framework.
have.
And I just want to
understand that,
remind
but-
everyone that the AMI, or this is formulaic, it's set out by the city. So the developer, the applicant responds
But
to
it's,
this.
it's misleading, it's disingenuous to say that this is affordable. We're
The-
using that word, but it means it's
So in
something
order
different.
to rezone, okay, if it were to stay at an R6B, you do not have to provide any affordable housing, just to be clear for even the new board members. When the rezoning is in place, or we're discussing rezoning, you must provide that affordable or income-restricted housing. Affordable gets thrown around a lot. So the income-restricted housing must accompany the rezoning. I understand your point, right? I
understand
just
what
want to
you're
make it
saying,
for everyone. Yep.
But for anyone who's ever tried to get housing through Housing Connect, which is the affordable housing lottery, I've applied to many buildings, I haven't heard back. I don't qualify for most affordable housing opportunities in the city because I don't make enough. You know, for a lot of these buildings, you have to make like 6 figures a year to qualify for affordable housing. Someone who makes 6 figures a year doesn't need subsidized housing. It's insane. And then the proposal that you guys came up with, I feel like it's a waste because something's going to get built there and we're not going to get anything in return for our community. So it's better to just, you know, work with the city and try to change the way affordability is determined and get something actually affordable built there.
Okay, the
You know what I mean?
That's not within our purview.
Well, maybe issuing no recommendation at
So
all
the-
would be better than.
The recommendation is to actually engage in a neighborhood plan. That is our way of working with the city. Something's going to be built there. And a flat-out rejection is not what we were seeking, and we would like to engage in a neighborhood plan. Next question, I didn't. Danielle.
Sorry, I didn't mean to be all the way back there.
I'm
I'm having problems breathing over there because there's like cleaning smell. So I kept
good.
speaking in. So just to clarify, and again, I'm sorry because I stepped out. Initially, it's zoned for 6 floors, 6 stories, and that would mean that they could do whatever they wanted. 6 stories.
It is zoned an R6B as of right. It's about 4 to 5 stories.
4 to 5 stories.
If they add affordable housing of their own volition,
Right,
not
then they can
mandated, they could
increase this.
possibly get more. It's difficult with the 2.4 FAR.
And initially, they were coming to us for 11 stories approximately, where a zoning that could go up to 14.
That is correct, that this was a 14-story plan. They redesigned it, still meeting the max FAR. So it extends to the back more. They make more use of the lot.
Right.
And this is an 11-story proposal.
11-story.
But it can
we don't,
be
exactly, we don't
14
control.
stories.
Right.
Again, and I understand that there's so many components to this, but the thing that we are looking at is the zoning.
And then the compromise you're saying is let's do a neighborhood plan and look at a zoning that's in the middle of those 2 options?
Somewhat. I mean, it depends on how you look at it.
Okay.
That is, I'm speaking for the community.
Right.
With my community board hat on. There is a push for all communities to create new housing.
Right.
Regardless of the existing built environment.
Right.
The November 2025 proposals, ballot proposals passed. New Yorkers voted for these proposals, among which was ballot proposal number 2. That includes the fast track. Everything is named fast track. So this is different than the environmental one. This is essentially, it's a push for the number is 12 districts, the 12 which have produced the least amount of affordable housing.
In the last 5 years.
In the last 5 years. So we are facing that as Community Board 10 without a look.
So even though we broadly have much affordable housing, much more than surrounding neighborhoods, much more rent-stabilized units.
1/3 rent-stabilized
large
units.
buildings that have been around since the 20s.
Yeah, correct.
That one of which I live in, we're being judged in the last 5 years.
Correct. And so
I'm
we
just
are-
clarifying all this too for our new
And
board
thank you.
members.
We are responding to that.
And then my concern, then speaking to what somebody else said, is I did live along the Gowanus, and I was part of the beginning of when they started building big. That's a whole separate issue too, because there's a lot more flooding initially, and also there's a whole environmental issue that's pretty intense, and I can't believe they're building as much there as they are. But changing the zoning for one thing, started the whole ripple effect of changing the zoning for a lot of other things. So I do really understand the concerns for that. And I do love the idea of a neighborhood plan. So thank you. Thanks for letting me have a lot of time.
If we look at the history of Community Board 10, Community Board 10, led by Steve Harrison on the zoning committee, put together a community plan of downzoning to keep the contextual nature of Bay Ridge and to protect the infrastructure of Bay Ridge, so there would not be the flooding and the overcrowding that we were concerned about even back then. And Steve Harrison, Community Board 10, my advocate, Victoria Hoffmo, who spoke earlier this evening, worked very, very hard to put together a comprehensive plan. Not one block, not two blocks, 345 blocks in Bay Ridge were rezoned under the plan put forth by Community Board 10 and passed through the City Council. So the plan, at least the outlines of a plan are there. Now, it's been marred a lot by the very destructive City of Yes amendments that have passed. So even with the City of Yes amendments, this developer has more a floor area ratio than we originally had zoned for this area. So he has more already based on what the city has given him. So I understand the idea about the R6A, and it's something to consider. But in retrospect, if you look at it all, he should be able to build with what the extra FAR that was already given to him. We have no power to do anything about that extra floor area that he's been given by the City of Yes. So he should take it, be happy with the extra floor area he's been given by the city, and go forward that way or not. But the enormity of the project that he's proposing now, the developers are proposing now, would impact Bay Ridge severely and would set us, as someone just said, on that decline of precedent to continue this throughout the neighborhood. So I think the proposal that you put forth is a good one to consider, but I think we have to proceed very, very cautiously.
Thank you. I'd like to clarify as well for the neighborhood plan. Looking at that, we would be looking at that corridor. It's very vulnerable for significant development. The C8 corridor, is that right? Is that right there? Just wanted to add to that because there had been a neighborhood plan that was developed. Any other questions? Oh, Romeo?
Just a quick one about, where you stated that the neighborhood plan is what we want to talk about. Will it include all the current and available empty lots that we already have in Bay Ridge? When you stop to think about the space across from the post office, 86th Street, across from St. Pat's, there's lots of lots and available spaces that...
It's limited to the corridor?
It's not going to be, oh, just the corridor, okay.
Yeah, no, it's just right from to the corridor. It's south of 86th Street, which is a lot of larger scale commercially developed C8, high C4, where you have a lot of the uses that are not active anymore, larger swaths of land. So, we call it the C8 triangle, but it really is that area in and around the Staples area where there are a lot of larger sites. So limiting a neighborhood plan to those that are most vulnerable is most likely, to be very focused and limited on that area.
Thank you. There was, Barbara, we're done with there?
I'm coming.
Wait.
Coming.
You need your microphone.
Several of the residents spoke about the flooding, and in the plan for this building, there was a sub-cellar. So how do we reconcile the sub-cellar to the flooding And I know that the green fast track is a motivational thing for the builder, but it's still part of the larger community, and flooding is a big issue.
I wonder if we could, as Mr. Gentili brought up, Mr. Harrison's requirements that we did in what it was.
Long time ago.
Yeah. Can we refer in our recommendation to go back to the law that was made by the city council regarding Bay Ridge or not?
No, it
Yes.
doesn't. I think, yeah, I think it was, yeah. Doing a neighbor, so yes, there was before and now there's after. So that's why we'd be developing something new, but particularly focused on that C8 triangle, this corridor. Yeah.
But it's part of Bay Ridge.
Part of Bay Ridge, yeah, it's that area, yes.
So we passed a law that this is what we want in Bay Ridge, and it was passed.
The city of, the laws have changed. Yes. The city of, yes, and. Barbara?
Hi. The way Vinny and Steve have their little disagreements, I scooted over to him because I think a point of parliamentary procedure, right? And you can tell me, was this motion seconded? So any discussion after that is on the wording of the motion. Any other discussion should have happened before the motion was seconded. So having the motion seconded, could you just repeat the motion again? And I think I asked for this to be called to a vote.
Committee adopted a motion recommending against the proposed R7X rezoning and further recommending that the site instead be evaluated within the context of a broader neighborhood planning framework, with R6A considered as a more moderate zoning alternative. So again, we are at advisory. Yes.
Yes. Okay, she called the question.
We're still in
What happens
discussion.
next? We're a little confused.
Okay, wait.
She asked for a call to call, Barbara asked to call the question. And Jonathan seconds that.
Can I-
Parliamentarian?
Parliamentarian is not here. We have to call the question.
Okay, well then I'm calling the question. We are calling the question, right? What?
Barbara's a parliamentarian. Okay, Barbara, do you want to speak?
Barbara, she allowed to ask a question? No. What are we doing now?
I called the question.
You called.
I seconded it.
Yes.
Now we have to vote to call the question.
So it's the vote to bring it to the vote. Yes.
Okay, so then I have to. This is a vote to call the question. To call the question. You're. No. Correct. Who's in favor of calling the question?
Hold your hands up high, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Is it board members only? I can't see that far.
I'm sorry.
One second. Okay.
All right, so wait a second. So in Robert's Rules of Order, a call the question is a parliamentary procedure used to end a current debate and to force an immediate vote on the proposal.
Okay.
Correct. So we have to return to the vote on the motion that was seconded by the committee and by John, and it ends
So I'm
debate.
calling the question on the motion.
On the motion.
Okay, so I read the motion, and now I'm calling all in favor?
Hands up high. Hands up high.
Only board members.
Okay.
This is a vote on the motion presented by the Zoning and Land Use Committee Chair on the application that is before us. A call to question brings the matter to an immediate vote. So, Stephanie, you read it twice. You read the motion twice of what the committee recommended and was supported. That is what the board is voting on now. So if you support the committee's plan for a neighborhood plan, that's a quick summary, you're voting yes. So all in favor of that motion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I think it carries. 26?
Okay.
27, I didn't get Barbara.
What do we have? Any opposed?
Okay, opposed? 1, 2, 2 opposed.
Abstentions? Recusals? Okay, the motion passes.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Oh, Danielle, you have,
So I was only going to say in the friendly amendment that we clarify what the neighborhood plan is, but maybe we could do that without having to vote on it. Okay.
Okay. Quiet, please. Quiet, please. I'd like to acknowledge all the committee chairs last month and this month have been very hectic and very chaotic, and there have been some long meetings, and I want to thank them for their dedication, and all the board members as well. I also want to acknowledge the district office, Josephine Beckman and Dorothy Garuccio and Amanda. I call the office Nerve Central because it really is Nerve Central. If you haven't spent a day in that office, I suggest you do, because you'll never do it again. I know that we get very we get very animated about keeping our community, and this is because CB10 has always been a community of being one of the better communities in Brooklyn and New York, and we just want to upkeep it and keep it the way it was. And I know that we have to we have discussions. That's fine, but just keep it going. All right. To the new board members, you're getting a real education here. I hope we're not scaring you guys away. Okay, next up, I'd like to invite Josephine Beckman, who will give her district manager's report.
Thank you, Sandy. Given the hour, I will be brief. So I just want to also thank and welcome the new board members here. I know it's a little bit overwhelming, and I want to let you know that the district office is your support system as well. Any questions, you're going to get lots of emails from us. If you have any questions, don't hesitate. Send an email back, pick up the phone, and we're here to help. And there'll be more to come on, learning zoning 101s and more fun. So again, in lieu of the long agenda, I just want to share a few announcements. Last month, board member Pia Lehu asked about events in the community marking the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration right here in Bay Ridge. I was asked to share that the Bay Ridge Historical Society will be hosting Bill Armstrong, who is the communications director for Sale 4th 250, at their monthly meeting on Wednesday, this Wednesday, May 20th. So if you're interested in learning more about Sale 4th, please tune in, and there'll be more to come from the board office to share. The 68th Precinct Community Council also asked me to share that they will be meeting also on Wednesday, May 20th at the Fort Hamilton Senior Center, 7 p.m., 9941 Fort Hamilton Parkway. The Memorial Day Parade Committee asked me to share that the committee put together a great parade this year. It'll take place on Monday, May 25th. The route is also posted on our website and will be sent out in our e-newsletter. And the Fun on Fifth Avenue Festival will take place on Sunday, May 31st, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. from Bay Ridge Avenue to 85th Street. Over the last few weeks, the district office has been inundated with calls about the New York City bin, which is a Department of Sanitation's requirement for the new trash bins. You have to have them if you live in a 1 to 9 family home by June 1st. Home Depot has been out of stock, in stock. We've been helping residents navigate through it. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call the district office. Respectfully submitted. Yes. So the Historical Society, it's on Zoom. So I will ask if it's recorded. If it's not, I will suggest. Oh, Henry, is it? No? You don't share. We'll take the suggestion back. Thank you. Oh, I have another question?
Just wanted to let you guys know, I work in violations, so I know that the sanitation tickets are $100 if you don't have the bins. So make sure you get them. They're very hard to fight.
Okay. Thank you, Josephine. Next up, I'd like to invite Shirley Chin, our treasurer, for the treasurer's report.
Good evening, everyone. Community Board 10 Treasurer's Report as of April 30th, 2026. Total personal services, we have $238,673.89. Total other than personal services, we have $11,144.80, leaving an encumbered budget balance of $47,941.31. Thank you.
Thank you, Shirley. Now I'd like to invite Jane Marie Kaplanakis to give her report for the Traffic Transportation Committee.
All right. Thank you, all you traffic and transportation fans. We appreciate it. Once again, the committee met on Wednesday, May 6th, and we met in virtual quorum. And these are our following agenda items. We had an update on the presentation by DOT representatives regarding a proposed safety improvement plan for 3rd Avenue between Wakeman Place and 86th Street. As part of the truck route network redesign, New York City DOT plans to add 3rd Avenue from Wakeman Place to 86th Street as a local truck route. DOT published their final truck route redesign and proposed rule to amend the New York City Charter and enter it into law. The final map does include 3rd Avenue as shown in the prior proposal discussed at the February 2026 board meeting. At that meeting, the board voted to send a letter to DOT and electeds with concerns and questions surrounding adding 3rd Avenue to the truck route. This included concerns regarding increased congestion, safety risks, the environmental impact, infrastructure strain, and the impact on quality of life. The DOT presentation can be found on their website. The safety enhancements they suggested included concrete and painted curb extensions, signal time changes, hardened center lines, and truck loading zones at various intervals. Once again, this is all along 3rd Avenue. According to the presentation, this project will begin in late summer and be completed in fall 2026. A public hearing on this matter will be held on June 9th at 10 a.m. and public comments can be submitted online, email, fax, or regular mail by 5 p.m. on June 9th. There was significant concern from both board members and the merchants of 3rd Avenue regarding the expansion of truck routes in a residential and commercial corridor. The committee unanimously passed a motion to strongly oppose the expansion of the truck route and voted to place a pause on the implementation of the street improvement project until DOT provides further data and addresses community concerns, which included having the Third Avenue merchants be a part of this discussion. Once again, the committee met in virtual quorum and voted in favor of opposition of the expansion and putting a pause on implementation of this project. We will need a motion from the floor, and to have that seconded. Thank you. Now, any discussion from our board members? Okay. Dorothy, I need you. Okay. Over there.
Thanks. I was just wondering what the anticipated increase in truck traffic would be on the corridor if they put a number to that.
I don't believe they gave us a number. No, it was, and currently the truck route is on 7th Avenue, and this would be bringing it down to 3rd. And as you also heard previously, we are discussing how 3rd Avenue has all of our restaurants, that there is outdoor dining happening, that there are a host of issues, but they did not provide us with specifics.
Okay.
Thank you. We did ask, yeah. Julie over here has a question.
I was wondering what was their reasoning for, because I wasn't at the last meeting, I don't know if it was discussed. What was the reasoning for moving it from 7th Avenue to 3rd Avenue? And then we just had the discussion of the roadway cafes, which are all along 3rd Avenue. So what the heck is going to happen with that?
Right. Right, 7th Avenue will remain, as Josephine was stating. They said that it was going to increase mobility.
Yeah, I mean, increase mobility into, commercial corridors, business areas, where trucks travel. And the concern is that directing trucks to a route, any route, would allow them to traverse the route. And there was a lot from the committee, that we heard that night that was concerned both at the February meeting and now, that if you add 3rd Avenue as a local truck route, that whenever there's something on the Gowanus or something, along the bridge, that 3rd Avenue will be used. And if it's backed up, they're going to go down local streets to kind of, Trucks now can traverse our commercial corridors. If you're making a delivery, you're permitted to be within a certain amount of blocks of where you're going. But this would actually place it on the truck route map as a local truck route.
And the local truck route is 365 days.
Yes, the truck route is 24/7, 365. Yeah.
Right.
It's on the map.
Right.
It becomes part of the map.
Okay, Carmen has a question.
I want to stand up because I don't know who the 88 people were who contacted them about the building, their opposition. I want to say thank you because we live in Bay Ridge. We love Bay Ridge. I love saying I live in a neighborhood that's a premier community. No, I know that. I know that. If somebody's got to leave, let me just finish. Let me just finish. And I understand. Let me just finish. But at that meeting, hearing from the person who heads the merchants of 3rd Avenue, you get a lot of insight from the public in these meetings. And I was just watching his face the entire time. And there was something like just, to him, it was almost like a death sentence. We lost a lot of shopping, and 3rd Avenue is important for a lot of reasons, to restaurants, doctors, schools, everything. And just the thought of trying to drive through there and you have all these trucks, in front of you, behind you, just makes it really dangerous. And I just felt like heartbroken because when he was saying how many merchants would be affected, this is like a dangerous thing. It's just dangerous on a bunch of levels. But I just want to say, one of the important things is we need to hear from the public. If it affects you, your family, your lifestyle, we need to hear from you because that's one of the most important things to get both sides of a story to make a good decision. And if I'm taking too much time, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Carmen. And, that was just a very strong point that we felt in our committee discussion, that the the future of Third Avenue really involves all of those Third Avenue merchants who were not included in that discussion. All right. So are there any other committee members with questions or discussion? I see Larry and I see Julie.
At one of the meetings, we saw that there was, there's another issue that's going on at the same time, and that is the narrowing of Fourth Avenue. I was wondering why they never thought about putting a truck route on Wide Street, which is, control signals. If this decide for a truck route is just to simply get the trucks through the neighborhood, or just have them make deliveries. Because, alternatively, there's also the plan to narrow the traffic lanes on Fourth Avenue. And that's going to have 2 lanes of traffic, 1 turning lane, parking lanes, 2 parking lanes, and more bicycle paths on both sides of Fourth Avenue. Just why are they narrowing? And this is the transportation alternatives representative, but forth.
There's a lot of moving parts within our neighborhood, and there are certainly a lot of things that we as residents see as overlapping. But when these issues come up to us, they really kind of come up often one thing at a time. And so our only opportunity tonight is to address this one thing. So that's what we're going to stick to.
It seemed to me that one didn't know what the other was doing.
And that goes back to Carmen's point about people being involved and helping to share to help widen and open that discussion. Okay, Tracy, and I think Julie had her hand up. Okay.
I just wanted to bring it up, like I had brought it up at the previous meeting or discussion for this, that as a former commercial driver, I'm very, very concerned about the safety of the pedestrians along that route.
Yeah.
The trucks cannot stop on a dime. They do not have the visibility, and there is a lot of pedestrian traffic. So I just wanted to go on record saying, like, it's the size of the vehicles and the safety that I would be concerned about.
Yes. Thank you. And we also had noted that at that beginning of that Third Avenue spot is where the new school, the Joanne Seminara School is. And, again, such concern about the safety for all of our residents, especially our children getting to school. Thank you. Julie.
I was also wondering about the curb extensions, like how is that factoring in to the truck route thing? Where are they going to be? How many of them? Are those like the things that stick out in Manhattan in the middle of the street? I was trying to figure out what that was.
Yeah, I believe on their presentation they had like a rendering, but I don't think that it was, I think there was more details to follow, that this was just the proposal of what they put out there. It is available on the DOT's website, and right, it was emailed to the board members as well. Thank you. Thank you. All right, do I see any other board members? We have a member of the public with board members only, I'm sorry. I apologize. Okay, we got another board member.
Is this a definite or a suggestion?
So they have, once again, they've presented this as the Third Avenue redesign. And we are saying from what they've given us that we strongly oppose the expansion of the truck route, and we voted to place a pause on the implementation of the street improvement project because they want it starting now in the summer and in place by the fall. And usually, as you heard that gentleman speak earlier this evening, things take a lot longer on issues that are really affecting a lot of our residents. So we just thought that we should also put a pause. Hi. We have to call the question. Okay. All right, we are ready to call that question. So may I ask if all of you are, we're ready to vote. So all in favor of the recommendation, in favor of opposition of the expansion and putting a pause on implementation? Looks unanimous to me. Okay. Any opposed? Any recusals or abstentions? All right, Community Board 10 is opposed to this. Thank you. Thank you for that. Next, we move on. We have a review of the open streets applications submitted to New York City DOT for our summer stroll events. This is on 3rd Avenue from 86th Street to Marine Avenue on July 4th and August 7th from 4 to 10 p.m. and on 3rd Avenue from 82nd Street to 68th Street on July 31st and August 14th, also from 4 to 10 p.m. The committee approved the applications for 4 annual summer stroll events scheduled for July and August 2026. The stipulations supported in 2025 were renewed. We will dispense with the reading of the stipulations, however, they are part of the public record for this meeting. All right. So, once again, the committee in virtual quorum and voted in favor of this application. We will need a motion from the floor. And seconded, I saw it.
Julie and Tracy?
Julie and Dino. Tracy. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. So now we are, any discussion? Seeing none, we're ready to move on. Ready to vote. All in favor? Thank you. Any opposed? Any abstentions or recusals? We have one. Thank you. That motion carries. And next, we have an update on the DOT notification of planned speed reduction locations and new school slow zones within CB10. As part of Sammy's law from 2024, DOT will be reducing the speed limit to 15 miles per hour at every eligible school location in the city. 800 schools will see limits reduced this year. 700 are existing and 100 are new. The existing school slow zones of 20 miles per hour are being further reduced to 15 miles per hour. In addition to signage, there are enforcement cameras at these designated locations. The current school zones with slow speeds of 20 miles per hour in CB10 total about 14 schools. The board voted to endorse the current list while committing to advocate for the inclusion of additional schools in the district, specifically noting the absence of several important school locations in the initial plan. There are approximately 21 schools in our community board that do not have slow zones. Mayor Mamdani has stated that all eligible schools will be covered by the end of his first term. The committee met in virtual quorum and voted in favor of this application. We will need a motion from the floor and to have that seconded. Carmelo and Chris, thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, we are ready to vote. All in favor? Thank you. Any opposed? Any abstentions or recusals? Thank you. The motion unanimously passes. Thank you all. Okay, this is yours.
Thank you, Jane Marie. Because the time has passed and to respect the venue's time also, we are going to commence, we're going to put the following committees for discussion at our next meeting, which is going to be the Environmental Committee, Police and Public Safety, and Older Adults, Housing, Health, and Welfare Committees. You will be put on for the next meeting. Okay, we'll text the reports, okay, because they're all informational. Ruth Greenfield Mazer, please come up and report for the nominating committee.
Good evening. Community Board 10 Nominating Committee met on April 30th to create a procedure to notify board members that nominations are open for anyone who would be interested in running for an officer position for fiscal year 2027. A letter explaining the procedure was sent by the district office on April 30th to all board members outlining the process for submissions, including the deadline to submit a nomination, which was Monday, May 11th at noon. 4 submissions were received at the district office, all from our current officers. Thank you, guys. The nominating committee met again on May 15th, 2026, and reviewed the submissions. The committee voted to approve the slate of officers for the fiscal year 2027 as follows. Chair, Sandy Vallis. Vice Chair, Stephanie Simone Mahaney. Secretary, Chris Ellison. Treasurer, Shirley Chin. The committee hereby submits the above slate of officers to the board. I would like to thank the members of the nominating committee, Tracy Britton, Doris Cruz, Barbara Germack, and Liz Lovejoy for their participation. Respectfully submitted. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ruth, for your report. At this time, we are going to open up the nominations from the floor. Are there any nominations for the position of chair? Seeing none, I move to close the nominations for chair. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Are there any nominations for the position of vice chair? At this time, seeing none, I move to close the nominations for the vice chair. Okay. Are there any nominations for position of secretary? Seeing none, we will move to close. Yes, you did, okay. You want? Okay, there's a nomination for Staley Dietrich.
I would just like to nominate Staley Dietrich.
Okay. Do you accept the nomination?
I accept the nomination.
Okay. And
Then we have to close that.
Hmm?
We close secretary, right?
yeah, are there any other nominations for secretary? Okay, seeing none, is there a motion to close the nomination for secretary? Okay. Is there a motion for the position of treasurer? Seeing none, is there a motion to close the nomination for treasurer? Okay. Okay.
So we will have an election. Yep,
Elections next month.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so we'll have the elections next month for the position of secretary. I wanted to thank Ruth and her committee for your fine work and your dedication again to Community Board 10. Now we're going to open, is there any old business? I don't see any. Is there any new business? I don't see any. Does somebody want to make a motion to adjourn?
Stephen Lee.
It's always a popular one. Thank you very much, everybody. I know it was a trying night, but well worth it. Thank you very much.